Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Al Chapo Sports, everyone's least favorite sports show, where we do the thinking so you don't have to. Today, we've got another top 10 NFL teams after week 3. So let's just get straight into it, guys. At number 10, we have the Green Bay Packers. The Packers won a close one against New Orleans. The bottom bits of this list are kind of how would you describe them? The good but not great teams. Green Bay is good. They're solid all around, but they're not great. I don't know if they can make the playoffs, but they are good. And they beat New Orleans, who, if you were watching last week's video, was also previously ranked at the number 10 spot. So they are a solid team, and this is a solid win, even if it was only by the skin of their teeth. We'll see if they can keep up, but moving on to number 9, we have the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks beat the Panthers. Now, the Seahawks are 2-1. I considered putting them higher in the list than they are, but I really just couldn't because they beat the Panthers, who, as you know, are 0-3. They have not won a single game. So it's not a very quality win. Even if they beat them by 1,000 points, which that's an exaggeration, of course. Hyperbole, guys. Look it up in the dictionary. But Seattle's a good team. I just can't rate them any higher based off a win against the Panthers. Anyway, moving on to the next spot, we have the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland's looking good this year, guys. They beat the Cincinnati Bengals opening week. They lost a close one to Pittsburgh, and now they dominated the Titans. I mean, absolute domination. Again, got to consider the quality of the opponent. The Titans aren't exactly the cream of a crop of the NFL right now, but you got to respect Cleveland. They're 2-1. They have a division win. They're looking solid, and they just put away another team. I mean, absolutely put them to bed. Hook, line, sinker, punch that baby in the face. Put them out. Anyway, Cleveland number 8. Moving on. Number 7. We've got the Pittsburgh Steelers, the team that beat Cleveland a week ago. And this week they got a win over the Raiders, who, similar to the Saints, are just like one of those solid teams all around who don't look great, but they're not bad by any means. So it's a solid win. They won on Sunday Night Football. It was a close and competitive game. I thought the Raiders were actually going to come back and pull through, but they did not. So Steelers, give the devil their due. You guys came in well-deserved number 7. Moving on to number 6, we have the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills beat the Washington... Can't say their real name. I won't call them the Commanders. Get out of here with all that. We all know who the Washington team really is, and they got beat by Buffalo. Buffalo ran the score up on them pretty good. It was a pretty dominant win. It was not a very competitive game whatsoever. The reason I can't put Buffalo any higher at this point is they are inconsistently great. Inconsistently great. They'll have games like week 1 where they get beat in overtime by an Aaron Rodgers-less. Is that a verb? Is that a word at all? An Aaron Rodgers devoid Jets team. A Zach Wilson Jets team. They lose to them. But then they come back and have performances like they had this week. So they are inconsistently great. Therefore, I can only give them a number 6 spot at best. Moving on to number 5. We have the Detroit Lions. Detroit, they beat the Falcons this week, and it was not a competitive affair whatsoever. Also, they're still riding pretty high off their week 1 win against Kansas City. The hype for the Detroit Lions this year seems to be warranted so far. They have a very solid team in all ways. I think they're a shoo-in for the playoffs. How far they'll go in the playoffs is anyone's guess, but right now they are looking solid. Moving on from the Detroit Lions, we've got number 4, the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs demolished the Bears, mostly because, as we all know, Travis Kelce, he's trying to get some of that never, ever, ever getting back together, Poontang. You know what I'm saying? If you do, leave a comment below. Tell me that was a wildly inappropriate comment to make. Anyways, I'll tell you who's never, ever, ever getting back together. The Bears, because they got outclassed in every way by the Chiefs. Chiefs looking solid. Of course, you've got two-time Super Bowl champion Patrick Mahomes at the helm. Legendary coach Andy Reid. The Chiefs are going to be a tough team for anyone to beat this season. But there are 3 teams I think are better than them that so far, of course, leading me to number 3, the other Kelsey Swift combo, the Philadelphia Eagles. They are 3-0. And of the 3 teams that are 3-0, I think they're the worst, but they're still pretty dang good. This week, they beat the Buccaneers, who I was high on last week. I was high on this Baker Mayfield comeback story, but the Eagles shut that down quick. And yeah, 3-0. Congratulations, Eagles. I think, in my mind, I know I have a... We'll just get to this at the end of the video. We'll save that point for after I list these next 2 teams. So moving on to number 2, we have the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers absolutely massacred the New York Giants. Not an impressive feat on its own. If you watched this week's episode of NFL Hell, you'll see that they are still in hell. So, it's more about the margins they ran up on New York. It was by how uncompetitive it was. There were a lot of uncompetitive games this weekend, let's be honest. But this was perhaps the most mismatched, except for one. The 49ers are one of the most solid teams in the NFL right now. I have a few questions about quarterback, but they're 3-0. It's hard to argue with them. So, moving on to number 1, we have the Chicago... I'm joking. The Denver Broncos... No, not at all. The Miami Dolphins. Miami almost made history this weekend with the most points scored in regular season. 70-20 over the Denver Broncos, who are... I won't spoil the video. Go watch NFL Hell, number 3. You'll see where they are. If anyone got beat down worse than the Bears this week, it was the Broncos. And that whooping came by the hands of these Miami Dolphins. I don't see a weakness on this team, guys. I don't see one at all. Tua's playing incredible ball. They are well coached. They have lots of offensive weapons. It's not just one guy making one play. You see things like in Cleveland or the Jets, for example, where they had one offensive superstar and then he gets injured for the season and it seems the season is over. The Dolphins could lose pieces to injury and still be the best offense in the NFL. By far and away. They are the kings of the NFL right now, which landed in this number 1 spot. The point I was saving for later when I was talking about the Eagles is the way too early Super Bowl prediction. It is looking like a Miami-Philadelphia Super Bowl to me. Now, I know what you're thinking, but you had the 49ers ranked above Philadelphia. Yes, I did. But I do think Philadelphia is going to have more longevity than the 49ers. Let's put it that way. I think the Eagles are in a more favorable division, which will lead them to a better seeding placement, probably the number 1 seed, which will get them the bye, and I think they will just return to the Super Bowl as they did last year, only this time facing the juggernaut Miami Dolphins. But that's all I have for this week, guys. You guys comment down below. Tell me your top 10 teams. Tell me how wrong I am. Tell me how stupid I am. Tell me whatever you want. Just leave some comments. give me something to read. I get bored, guys. I make these videos, then I go to sleep. Tell me your top 10 teams. Like the video. Comment, subscribe, share. Do all the YouTube things. You know them. You know all of them. Just do all the YouTube things. And I will catch you guys next time. Bye.